Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Do we know that Tuesday, March 31st, is the advent of modern spiritualism's 178th year anniversary? Back in 1848 in Hyattsville, New York, the Fox sisters, Margaret and Catherine, first heard and deciphered rapping noises coming from the spirit of a discarnate peddler by the name of Charles B. Roslin. He had been murdered and he had been buried in the Fox's cottage home. And back in 1848, the neighborhood didn't have street lights, didn't have storefronts or next door neighbors right next door. It was a cold March night with acres of silent land surrounding them. These two young girls, Margaret and Catherine, ages 14 and 11, used their smarts and their wits to help them devise a numbering system to talk back to the unknown. How many of us have reservations about how we want to be contacted by those in the spirit world? I remember thinking, oh, I don't want spirit coming up on me too fast, or I want spirit to come in this way. How many of us would have the courage to knock back when the unseen knocks on your walls? Hopefully, when spirit contacted us for the first time, it was a pleasant experience. Think about being young children back in 1848, receiving messages, deciphering, and making that spirit communication, something that was within their lives. Proof, establishing proof of spirit communication. What began as a simplistic raps on a cottage wall in Hyattsville has grown into a global light that shines and that shows the way for our spiritual understandings and knowledge to increase. Spiritualism lights. It shines a light on our path, on our life's journey's path. Spiritualism shines that light. With modern spiritualism, we claim the science, philosophy, and religion of modern spiritualism. And this science, philosophy, and religion teaches us the truths about spirit communication and about the continuity of life. Spirit communication and the continuity of life. The consciousness was still there for Charles Roslin. He knew what had happened to him, and he was able to relay that to the Fox sisters. Now, according to the NSAC manual, spiritualism is the orderly, progressive, evolutionary processes of infinite intelligence, manifesting in all aspects of nature, of life, both seen and unseen. Our pioneers proclaimed the genuineness of spirit communication and spirit phenomena, and the philosophy underlying them. And today, many know and demonstrate spirit phenomena. Think about social media, which has given a global platform for mediums to be seen and heard. The change from wrappings on a cottage wall to computer screens demonstrates that the human desire for spirit communication remains the same. We still have that desire. They had the desire back in 1848. The desire to know that our consciousness and our personality, our essence, continues after our transition called death. Modern spiritualism demonstrates spirit communication through mediumship. We understand and recognize this as a natural gift from the universe. We know that mediumship establishes definitive, cognizant communication between the physical and the spiritual. This connection is not just a formal principle. It is a lived experience that is unfolding every day. It is back in 1848 and is here in 2026. We all live this, most of us live this experience on a daily basis. Some of us live this experience here and there as we connect and then disconnect as we think about it. And the disconnect is not that we're not connected to spirit communication or spirit phenomena. The disconnect is more so that we have turned away from it and we're not acknowledging it because our spirit connection is always there. I know many times doing private readings and also giving greetings here on Sundays from the platform online, I am often reminded of the strong connection that we have here with those in the spiritual. This connection is as varied as we are. We can use our intuition, gut feelings, dreams, visions, daydreaming, sounds. Many of us also connect through smell. A grandmother's cooking, a mother's favorite perfume, a father's cigar smoke, or even fresh pine scent for an outdoorsman dad. Those scents and those ways of connecting to spirit are as varied as we are. Also, spirit connects through dreams. And many of you have told me or shared with me dreams that you have had, surreal dreams. Dreams where we have a spirit visitation. That's because spirit chooses the quiet of our dream state to come near to us. And often that's when we easily allow our ego to take a step back, not negate what's happening, not change it, not overthink it and think through it and think through, oh, that was just a fluke. When the ego is still, mystical experiences are free to express itself. I've often had spiritual dreams, surreal dreams. I remember one dream where my aunt came in and she felt so warm and familiar. She was there as if she was in 3D. And she walked over to me to look to see what I was doing. And I was reading a book. And at the end of that dream, first she asked, "What are you up to?" And then she said that she would help me with my mediumship. Another surreal dream was when I was at a family gathering. This is in a dream state. It was very surreal. Some of my family members still on this earth plane were there. It was a big gathering. I'm from a large family. Others had already made their transition and they were all there as well. My aunt, same auntie, communicated with me without moving her lips. She communicated and was telling me different things. It was conscious consciousness to consciousness. There was no need for words. And this is a form of telepathy, this form of spirit communication. It felt the same as communicating when using words. The content was immediately understood. The thoughts and ideas were not foreign. Everything was normal. This further demonstrates that our consciousness remains intact even when we make our transition. The consciousness remains, the consciousness still flows, the consciousness is still there with us and still there with them in spirit, our loved ones. From wrappings on a wall to computer screens to the personal space of our dreams, we are all connected, connecting with spirit beings. The Fox sisters also proved that when we make our transition, our consciousness continues. Charles Rosner gave pertinent, verifiable facts and details about his death to Margaret and Catherine, demonstrating that there is a continuation after this physical life. There is no break between the physical and the spiritual. And this is very wonderful and pleasing and helpful to us when we make that connection. When we bring through a grandmother and that grandmother's personality, or a saying that that dad would always say, or love, the love of that mother. When we bring that through, we know that we are connecting to spirit. We know that we have that connection. Mediumship shows that, and we prove that through our mediumship, that that spirit connection is there. We also make sure that we are teaching others and showing others and expanding others' minds and their awarenesses so that they know that this is truth. This is God's truth. Modern spiritualism gives us more than just proof. Modern spiritualism also provides well-being by anchoring us in the storms and uplifting us in our joys. It gives us resiliency by providing the hope for a better tomorrow through our actions and our thoughts. It helps us to recognize that spiritualism is about life on this earth plane right now and about the afterlife. This should help us to know that we progress in the next world. And hopefully that will inspire us to do better in this world. It offers guidance by reminding us that wisdom is ours, and that wisdom flows from the spiritual and the physical world. As spiritualists, we are grateful for those who have come before us and for those who are continuing to demonstrate that there is continuation of life and spirit communication for all. We are also grateful for today, for our lecturers, for our healers, for our mediums, and also for our parishioners, who all advance the philosophy of modern spiritualism through our actions and our thoughts and our deeds and our knowings and our understandings and our striving to learn and to become more aware of God's laws and aware of what's going on in the world and aware of the gifts that is in the world, that is there for us, that is ours. And as we celebrate this 178th year anniversary, let us remember that the door was opened in a small cottage in 1848. Is now wide open for all of us. Modern spiritualism continues to show us the way. Modern spiritualism continues to light our paths. I would end with a quote from the NSAC's religious book. The invisible world is daily becoming more visible and real. Its divine harmonies are vibrating through every sympathetic heartthrob of those whose souls are attuned to receive it, end quote. Becoming more visible and real. The invisible world, the spiritual world is becoming more visible and real. Started in 1848 with the advent of modern spiritualism, because spiritualism goes beyond that, goes further before that. It started in 1848, and now we are here to know that we are all attuned to spirit. Remember that, know that, acknowledge that, and feel it in your everyday lives, making it a living experience, not just a formal definition on a piece of paper. Bless you.